Hey, what it do, y'all? What it do? What it do? Hopefully, y'all like this particular video. I really just was like, yeah, let's just get right to the point. Address the elephant in the room, if you will. So, I don't know if one realizes that, with a lot of these different types of relationships, most of them are very low vibrational. Most of them really have a lot of toxicity to it, especially in regards to one's preference of who they would rather be around, and and especially in regards to one's sexual interaction. And nothing against the rainbow community with this particular video, nor any of my videos here at my channel, but I want to talk more on the abusive side of things. I won't necessarily get off into violence, but as a disclaimer, this is going to be pretty heavy. So what I mean is, yeah, as you see with the title, the penitentiary vibes of most relationships now, heterosexually speaking. Okay, uh, first of all, a lot of gals they prefer, and I'm gonna say this before I really go in. Usually a topic like this I would rather talk about at night in the dark, because this is like more of the dark side of reality XM. But sometimes things in the dark got to be brought into the light. So this type of topic I had to bring out into the light and talk to y'all about it in the daylight. So there will be a few dark videos like these brought into the light. And I think this needs to be brought into the light for the simple reason that it's taboo in regards to most people not realizing that, you got like a penitentiary vibe with your type of relationship. And I say that just from the standpoint of how most of us conduct ourselves with them, and given people I've known that have been incarcerated, they've spoken about these things, given some of the things I've even looked on the web, and even looking at all these videos on YouTube, and of course look at a lot of people's social dynamics outside of the internet or YouTube. I see woohoo, Round Do Life in the building. What's good, family? Good to see you. Yeah, we're gonna go in and just get right to the point on a lot of this stuff. As it is written, it even says, as it is written, the bed should not be undefiled. But a lot of our beds are undefiled. I mean, a lot of our beds are actually defiled. And that was simply talking about how we conduct ourselves romantically and intimately. The bed is supposed to be undefiled, but we have defiled a lot of our beds. Okay, so the penitentiary vibe I'm talking about is simply from, like, some girls like it rough. Some guys have been brought up to think they should be rough. Now, you don't realize a lot of that actually happens in a lot of these penitentiaries, okay? Given people that I've talked to that have been incarcerated. And like I said, you can just look up all these videos and you hear about how people get ganged up, get banged up, if you will, and it's rough. And so these guys bring that outside, when they finally come home, as they say. They bring all that aggression, suppression, they bring that back home when they come home. And they put it on that chick, and she like, oh yeah, he getting me, he fresh out, and this is how he getting me, like, yeah, ooh daddy, and it's like, no, he ain't fresh out like that. Like, that's what he was doing behind bars, okay? In other ways, with other guys, and maybe some guys were doing that to him too, given that some of y'all get around guys that don't mind getting their groceries taken out or eaten. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think he was doing behind bars? Okay, so a lot of our interactions, especially sexually, come from out of the whole penitentiary vibes. Even gals that want a lot of guys to be face down on her, like all the time. I'm not knocking sometimes, but all the time. Well, what do you think she was doing? So a lot of gals, they get into interactions with other gals, and somehow this becomes more widespread socially, even if a gal hasn't really been around a gal that was incarcerated. Just the whole lingo and the mentality behind the way a man should sexually please her could have been based on whatever situation she had going on when she was locked down. And she came home and she started doing things too, and she started doing things to guys as well. So there's a lot to be said. I mean, even the way people get down with other correctional officers, a lot of stuff goes on behind bars that gets brought onto the streets. We just only deal with violence being brought onto the streets from behind bars. We're not thinking about our social and sexual interactions that also get brought onto the streets from behind bars. Brown Do Life said, and that's the kind of woman the manosphere pushes out to the masses. Facts. And it's sad because it's like, you want a chick that wants to be a certain way when she gets out. And what makes you think some of these gals want to be that way when they get out? So, you got some gals that are actually trying to turn their life around, and they like you giving gals like me a bad name. Like, I'm not trying to be like that chick, you know what I'm saying? Like, I did my time and I'm trying to get myself together. I'm not trying to be seen as this gal that wants a guy to be like what they call that there's a movie I'm just trying to think of, like Mad Max, if you will. I think that's the movie, but on some apocalyptic stuff, romantically and sexually. Like everything has to be all BDSM, whips and chains, and come up with all these different contraptions. They do that behind bars, like whips and contraptions, and sharp edges, and torturing people, and you think that's pleasure, but that's prison type of stuff. Like, and I want to go back to the whole physical side of this whole conversation that I brought up, but the social side. Okay, how can we talk about that in regards to the penitentiary vibe? Just from the standpoint of the way we punish each other socially, this whole idea of domination. Like I hear this so much in these spaces about domination, domination, domination. Okay, you got to be dominant in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, Auntie? Good to see you, family. Oh yeah, I gotta mod you up this particular channel as well. Yeah, I gotta have you all modded up, family. So I got you. Yeah, let me see something here. So yeah, let me get that all. Make sure that's all set up. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like this, not get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm so glad Information Man show in the building as well. I got a lot of people coming through. Brown Do Life, Anti, Information Man show. Let's get it. Let's see. Brown Do Life, he said, speaking of prisons, lots of migrants coming here to the U.S. A lot of them are big time criminals. Exactly. A lot of them have already done time, and they're bringing a lot of barbaric ways with them. So yeah, that brings up another point as far as like, how this starts to get interwoven in a lot of our relationships, like people coming from the barbaric perspectives, because and we think that's love and it's just toxic. Auntie said, all good, fam, I'm staying on this account more often these days, keeps the feed clean. Right, got you. Yeah, I know that feeling, family. I know that feeling. Like, like definitely about branching out so you can kind of filter in a lot of where you want your content to go. So yeah, I totally understand. Speaking of filtering, and that's the thing, we have to filter our interactions with each other. Like, we're supposed to be on a higher vibration. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be on a higher vibration, but a lot of our interactions, whether socially or sexually, are very low vibration. So like I said, going back to the dominant talks, like I said, I'm not trying to bash anyone that uses the word being dominant, but just realize where a lot of that came from. Realize what that's all about, really, because like amongst guys, let's just speak of guys that have to do time, and they realize some of these guys that end up ganged up or banged up, well, that's because it's based on a situation of dominating another guy. And the bunkie has to hear all this go on, you know what I mean? Like, he's hearing all this and he's hoping that he's not next. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh wow. And so this guy brings that out outside, when he comes home, and this gal like, yeah, he gonna get me like he fresh out. And I'm like, he was getting guys like that. Now, yeah, some of these guys they get these female correctional officers too. Like, and then you got to think this girl probably had a life back at home. This female correctional officer, but she doing all this dirt in the penitentiary, and so you talk about, you got to look at the penitentiary as another world. That's a different world from the outside world. So she's going after guys that she would never ever encounter in the outside world, and she's bringing that home, and it's really sad because she has a man at home that would never, or hope to never, be like that other world, and she's bringing that to that other world, if you will. Like, a lot of girls like inmates. You know what I mean? They're attracted to inmates. They don't want men on the outside world because they think that's the ultimate masculine guy. Gals be like, the real men are actually locked up. The real dudes are locked up. And no, this is not limited to a black female. It's not limited to a white female, Mexican. They all, look, female nature is female nature. And when it gets dark like that, and it's funny how, some of these gals, they be like, the way guys are trying to go their own way and get passports or this or that or whatever they want to say. They want to be like, that's black pill. But it's just as black pill that some gals just would rather think the ultimate masculine guy is the guy that's locked up. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because they feel like, oh, he'll give it to me hard, because he got all that tension going on. I'm like, yeah, he got tension going on, not just like this, but his backside got a lot of tension for other reasons, right? But we ain't gonna go there. I'm just saying, like, and he brings all that home, and let's go here. Let's go with all these kinks and fetishes that he likes and he wants her to do, especially with this growing rise of some gals preferring the anal because some of them they're cookie. Their vag is not good enough, so they like, oh, you could do me anal or oral. You know what I mean? They talk like that, because a lot of these girls been in the streets too long. But it reverts back to guys that been behind bars. They analyze each other, and it's like your anal wasn't even designed for that type of stuff. Penetration, penitentiary, pen pal. It all goes together, if you ask me, and it's crazy. Like when you think about that, and he calling to collect, and so the gals, they do that too. Like in their ways, when they come out a certain way, they have all this. Some of these gals get hardened up, but you do have some gals, like I said, they want to get their life around. They want to change. They want to be more feminine. So I think the gals that I respect, the gals that really was probably on some type of boy vibe and they had to go through, but they ultimately just want to be more feminine again. So it's not about them getting around a more chaotic guy in order to calm her down to be feminine. See, a lot of gals, they talk like that, but you ask like a real kind of chick that I guess you would say was lesbian, she ain't want a dude that's more chaotic than her. She just wants a man, to keep her from being a man. But these gals that fantasize over this prison kind of guy to be more chaotic than she is, to calm her down and be more feminine, like, they don't get it. Like the chick that was really hard like that wants to be soft. He ain't got a lot of these gals that appear to be soft. They really want to be around somebody hard, but don't understand the hard knock life that comes with it. The minute that they realize this guy is, he looks at going to prison as like vacation. And he gonna be like, baby, I'm gonna need you to take this charge for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like, oh, I don't know about all that. And so he like, okay, you ain't gonna take this charge for me. Okay, I'm gonna see about that. Like, and the thing, like, some of these gals want to still apply that female nature to a guy that that's done some time. He like, oh, you got another thing coming. And we see, how some gals end up on RIP t-shirts. A lot of that more is happening. So it's a lot of penitentiary vibes going on in a lot of relationships nowadays. A lot of these, there's so many things I could talk about, y'all. Like, it's hard to even say. Like, you got gals that have done a lot of time in juvenile, and they grow up. And they still haven't grown up, right? And so the first thing she wants to do when she gets in an altercation or a conflict with a man that's not even trying to fight her like that, she's quick to grab a knife. because she probably grabbed a knife and did something to somebody while she was in juvenile. So, that never changes. Now you see this gal that's like a serial killer, but it's crazy. They don't give a lot of gals that kind of time. They think she crazy. But guys, they get that time. They go on a man hunt. There's no woman hunt. Notice that. Now, I don't know. Hopefully, I'm not going off a tangent too much. I'm just saying we got a lot of this going on. A lot of these penitentiary vibes in a lot of our relationships. A lot of our relationships are very low vibrational. A lot of people that you don't even know really got stuff to their name. Like I think the most psychotic people are the people that hardly have a record. I'm gonna just say it. Like you got some gals. Like there's a statement I sometimes like to say: a soccer mom is just as wicked as any biker will ever be, and that's facts. Like go on the highway, you see a soccer mom willing to cut you off just out of nowhere. You go on the speed limit. This soccer mama got demons though. Like she probably won't even get charged for nothing. Even though it's crazy when you do see a soccer mom finally get caught. Now she wants to play victim. Like yeah, that's crazy. But that's another story. But I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of these sadistic things that people do in their relationships that actually stem from the penitentiary system. And you never know. Maybe that soccer mom had a serial killer as a father or as a grandfather. Like, you never know how this stuff gets passed down. So we need to be talking about this. We need to be talking about people's inner demons. We need to be talking about if you've done some time, or if your father done some time, or if your grandma, if your mama did some time. Maybe there's something that got passed down to you based on their experiences now in your genetics, and it actually is affecting our interaction. It's affecting how we can get along together. And then this idea of the way we do things sexually based on certain pains you have. But maybe the first guy you went with or you were with, sweetie, was a man that did time, and he did a lot of other things in his time with other guys. And, he put all that on you. Now you expect every guy to do you the way that guy did you. And it's like, it gets deep. You said Brown do life, especially big name channels in the manosphere, low vibrational, carnal, transactional relationships. Yeah, exactly. And, a lot of that also goes on behind bars, like these transactional relationships. Like that's another thing to talk about, this idea of you bribing. You got guys that they like, well, they'll say I'll take one for the team. We're gonna leave it at that. And it's for maybe a dude for whatever the reason is, maybe for his safety, maybe just to buy the other guy some time. Like he'll say I'll take one for the team, and that becomes a sense of a bribe to where he might bring that on the outside, whether he's a down low dude, as they put it. He'll make a guy take one for the team even outside, or he'll find a way to manipulate his female companion into doing certain things. Maybe not in the sense of how he analyzed the guy, he'll analyze her. Sometimes that's the case too. Like, and this is not to even point fingers at like someone like Mystical, so don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about Mystical, but I'm saying like they said he did a lot of things to his female companion, like weird, twisted, crazy, torturous type of stuff, like stuff you would expect dudes to do to each other in prison. And some gals do this too. Gals, the way they torture their female companions, sometimes they do this to their male companion, the way they'll torture him, especially if they felt like he was cheating. Let's talk about Griselda. Yes, Griselda. And she was with, I forgot who she was with, but she found out the dude was cheating. She had the whole mafia, most of the mafia, try to vaporize him. And some of these gals that aren't trying to get themselves together, but they still get in relationships, they be like, yo, if you cheating on me, I'm going to fillet you. Like, real talk, I'm going to fillet you. Like, fillet? Like Chick-fil-A, chick going to fillet you. Like that. Like, dang. Like, that all comes from, like, penitentiary. Like, you have to fillet somebody. Like, okay, no fellatio, she just said fillet. Like, dang. Like, so, but it's all these dark things. Like, so I just say this. because I don't care what your background is. Maybe you did time, maybe you didn't do time. To me, you still got to be on that vibe. Like I said, you see the title, Penitentiary Vibes. You don't have to necessarily be on penitentiary vibes, whether you've been in a penitentiary or not, because really, all it's saying is you just on a low vibration. You know, the people that really have done time and they don't want nobody else to go down their line or be in their shoes, they tell you, don't come here. You do not want to come here. Like, do not come here. Do just don't end up here. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of people come out never the same, and it's a miracle if they even are able to try to get back to some type of normalcy. You know, like there's a lot of PTSD in a lot of relationships that we have, and that's being brought upon a lot of people. I just want people to know, basically the whole point of this video is a lot of what we think is toxicity and abnormalities, it really is a deep rabbit hole, because it is an abnormality, but it's not just based on, oh, things just not right between me and you. No. Things were brought into that relationship that aren't right, that should not have been brought into that relationship. You know, like if you did time, you should have kept that back there. You know, like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happened in the penitentiary should have stayed in the penitentiary, right? Like, and or like basically what happened then, like all that you went through, like don't, you know, maybe the person you meet now, they don't do all those fetishes. You're not realizing where these fetishes came from. Well, I can go deep, like we can, I don't want to really go too heavy on y'all like this. I'm trying to keep it light. I'm trying to keep this light, okay? But I'll just say this, like even all these I'll just say this, all these multiples and trains, these trains, right? I'm gonna just say train. We gonna say train has a lot to do with these penitentiary vibes too, okay? So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at trains, and I'm gonna think of another word. I'm gonna think of golden showers and not getting jiggy with it, but getting jizzy with it. You know, jizzing, like all that is all these penitentiary vibes being brought into the relationship. And of course, I just brought up how, you know, people can be socially manipulated, how you can be threatened by somebody, set up by somebody, right? That too, I just added that in there, the being set up part. Those are all penitentiary vibes, because they do that in the penitentiary. Why are you trying to set up someone that you say that you love? Like, make that make sense. Why are you trying to set up somebody that you say that you love? So it's sad that you thinking you love somebody, now you gotta be thinking they're gonna try to set you up, like, and literally, for all you know, the person is trying to get you locked up on some crazy allegations, and then so, but we're not gonna go there. I just wanted to bring some darkness into the light. Like, this is, like I said, one of my darker videos, but we're bringing it into the light. So I'm talking to y'all about this in the daylight, because I just want y'all to know that a lot of us really have low vibrational relationships, and we bring that into all these other social conversations. And I could break it down more. King Gucci TV. Hey, what's good, King Gucci TV? Good to see you for the first time. Hope you like this particular video. If so, please give it a like. If you like my channel, subscribe. You know, I got more of this on the way, always. And yeah, check my catalog. Good to see you though, for sure. Gucci, always Gucci, got to be. And that's the thing. You want to be Gucci, like, you know, don't deal with the groceries. Only deal with the Gucci. I'm just saying. So, that, like I said, it's all part of that penitentiary vibe. There's a lot of rappers. I won't say this, but there's a lot of rappers right now. Female and male rappers. There's no discrimination here at this channel. Female and male rappers. They be on some penitentiary vibes. They on that right now. You got a lot of childhood stars that have self-deleted themselves, right? Because of some traumas and tortures that they've been through. Because of some slick person off the street that became a producer. They brought all that penitentiary vibe onto that upcoming childhood star and did some things to that person. You would have thought they went through prison, never went to prison, but had that put upon them. Like they didn't have to drop the soap, they dropped the contract. Like it's crazy because we see this happen all the time, right? Like if you're not getting canceled, you're getting analyzed by the industry, right? Like if you're not getting canceled by the industry, you're being analyzed by the industry, and so you kind of get this in a lot of relationships too, and so like with those who have been brokenhearted, I hate to say this, like you literally got effed, you got effed up, you got analyzed, like you went through something, like heartbreak does that, heartbreak does that, like, but like I said, this is a deep rabbit hole, but a lot of people bring a lot of these penitentiary vibes to relationships. They make you a prisoner. People make you subjugated to them. They make you their slave. They make you their puppet. And ultimately, like, they try to give you their version of their death penalty. Like, and you could be innocent. That's the sickest part about this all. You could be very well innocent. No matter if you prove yourself not to be guilty. Like, and so you just have to avoid low vibrational people. It's simple as that. Like people that, are on some, they be like, oh, it's good to do certain things sexually. Oh, it's good to talk a certain way socially. But do you not realize where a lot of this stuff came from? I'm just saying, I'm not telling you what you're doing is wrong. Hey, to each their own. Whatever floats your boat. I'm just saying, maybe some of y'all want to know where some of these things came from, and then think about it. Like a content creator said, I'm just here to make you think, and hopefully this got y'all thinking a little bit. Like maybe next time we do have certain conversations and we do certain things together, should we kind of think about, is there an origin to all this? Like organic versus origins. Like that's really how you actually be organic, when you deal with certain things and their origins, so you can see the originality of some of these things. Or like you want to be organic, right? But a lot of us aren't, because we do a lot of things based on what we see other people do, not realizing the origin of these things. Yeah. You said Brown do life. And the manosphere indeed is a low vibrational space. Yeah, a lot of the conversations over there, as well as a lot of other spaces, people don't know they got prison politics in a lot of conversations, like real talk. And you got real dudes that did time that are now content creators themselves, and they're like, you guys wouldn't stand a day behind bars. Like y'all really don't know what y'all talking about. Like you might want to watch some of the stuff you say. Like it's no different than like an actual game banger. They hear people talk and like, bro, do you not realize what you just said? Like where I'm from, like you would get dealt with, bro. Like where I'm from. Like if I was on that type of time, if I was still active, like that's like that, right? Or you got guys that are really in the game, like those type of guys, or whether male or female, whether he's a PI or she out there walking the block. She like, y'all don't know nothing about real game, and y'all out here talking like y'all do. Like y'all gotta chill with all that, like so that's what I'm saying. You got a lot of this square space out here. I'm trying to be in I'm just trying to be in a rare space. That's what I'm trying to do out here. That's why I'm an astronaut. I'm getting away even from the square space, because look at them now. It's just like nothing's original. Going back to that originality, nothing's organic. So rare space to me is the most organic thing out there now. So even for those trying to be a content creator, just be more rare. Be more rare with what you're talking about. That'll keep you on a high vibration, especially in regards to love. It's true love is becoming more rare these days too. You know what I'm saying? So don't operate. And then these songs, man. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna wrap it up at around a 30-minute mark, right? It's about 29 minutes so far. These songs got penitentiary vibes to it. The way a dude communicates, you know, when he's so-called dominating her. Like, when I'm all up in it, and I know you feel it, and you better tell me how you like it, or she'd be like, you better do this, you know, with these gals, a lot of these rappers talk like that. I'm like, yo, y'all not realizing where all that came from, all that aggression, sexually, y'all don't realize where all that stuff came from. Somebody was suffering in the midst of some sexual aggressions. And you think that's cool, that's pleasurable. That's pleasurable when my man really getting in my guts hard. Like, y'all don't realize you saying that somebody's suffering behind bars. Like somebody got ganged up and banged up with those same words you're trying to put in a love song. If you even want to call it a love song. Thanks a million.